In this section, we will look at a relay being used in a real vehicle's electrical system. In this example, a relay is being used to control the activation of the vehicle's horn. The low current control side of the relay is connected to the horn switch as well as the general electronic module. The high current side of the relay is connected to the horn. Before discussing how the circuit works in detail, let's take a closer look at all of the parts that make up this schematic. Highlighted in red at the top of the schematic is the central junction box. This is where the horn relay is installed. Notice that the square surrounding the central junction box is drawn as a dashed line. The dashed line tells us that there are other components not shown in the diagram that are part of the central junction box. In this diagram, we can only see the parts that are relevant to the horn system. In the description shown at the top right, we can find the name of the component, the abbreviated name, CJB, as well as where the unit can be found on the car, behind the left side of the dashboard. At the top left of the central junction box, we can see the fuse that supplies power to both the low and high current side of the relay. It is described as fuse 33 and is rated for 20 amps. Next, we have highlighted the connectors used to connect the central junction box to the rest of the circuit. Note that connector numbers always start with the letter C. In this case, we have two different connector numbers, C270B and C270C. This indicates that these are two separate connectors attached to the central junction box. At connector C270B, we also see the number 3. This tells us that the conductor shown leaving this connector is located in pin terminal position 3 of the connector body. If you look closely, there is actually two separate wires leaving pin terminal 3 at the connector C270B. One going to the clock spring and the other going to the generic electronic module. At connector C270C, it is pin position 8 that houses the conductor leaving the connector. In this picture, you can see the color descriptions for every conductor shown on the diagram. Using the connector pin number location and wire color information is a good way to confirm during testing that you have in fact found the correct wire that you wish to test. Highlighted at the bottom of the schematic is the ground locations for this circuit, G204 and G102. Because the numbers are different, it again tells us that these are two separate ground locations. Ground numbers always start with the letter G, and in this example we can also see the description of where the grounds are located on the vehicle. Wiring splice locations are always indicated with a number starting with the letter S. On this circuit there are two splices, S206 and S109. Splices are where multiple wires meet and become connected together. Even though this diagram only shows the wires related to the horn circuit, these splice numbers indicate that there are wires not shown from other systems that are connected to this circuit at this particular point. Now we have highlighted the generic electronic module, which is located on the right side A pillar of the vehicle. The circuit conductor entering the generic electronic module does so at pin terminal 14 of connector C201E, and the wire color is black and green. Here we can track how the low current control side of the circuit travels from the central junction box to ground G204. After leaving the central junction box at terminal 3 of connector C270B, the black and blue conductor enters the clock spring at pin terminal 6. The clock spring is located at the top of the steering column just behind the steering wheel. From there, the conductor leaves the clock spring and travels through the horn switch contacts, which is part of the steering wheel airbag pad assembly. It then returns to the clock spring where it exits as a black wire at pin 7. The conductor travels to the ground location G204, located at the left A-pillar of the vehicle. On the high current load side of the circuit, the conductor leaves the central junction box at pin terminal 8 of connector C270C. The orange and blue conductor enters at pin 1 of the horn, which is located behind the bumper bracket of the vehicle. The black conductor leaves the horn through the connector pin terminal 2, where it terminates at ground G102, which is located at the right front side of the engine compartment.